What's up, guys, and welcome back to Planet Coaster 2. If you're enjoying this series, make sure to leave a like on the video. It would be greatly appreciated. In the last episode, we had a bit of a garbage outbreak. It kind of came out of nowhere, and it looked really, really bad. But it seems like our janitors have had enough time now to get everything cleaned up for the most part, so we're looking a lot better there. We spent quite a bit of time editing just the front of our concession stand buildings, so now we have a food and a drink shop on this side, and a food and a drink shop on the other, rather than just a drink shop here and just a food shop here. That was a little dumb on my part. I'll take full responsibility for that. But we did a similar thing with our little floaty booth here in the middle, so now we have two of those shops open, ready for customers, because it was getting a little too overcrowded for my liking. In addition to that, we finally added our finishing touches to our two inner tube flumes right here. And at first, you know, I wasn't super crazy about the overall design of these slides, but now that we've got a little scenery around them, dude, I think it looks so dang good. At the tail end of things, we had just started on our transport ride for Toogii Land. We've got this little cable car system going now, and I'm just so happy that we were finally able to get this thing to work right, because there for a little while, I was kind of worried it wasn't going to be possible. But we've still got a ways to go before we can open it up to the public. So we're paused currently because as soon as we hit play, we're going to get hit with our end of business day report. We did $223,000? Dude, what was it last time? It was like 150, 160,000 maybe? That's crazy. Our park rating is very poor. And I'm thinking that's probably because we don't have any flat rides or coasters yet. Keep in mind, ladies and gents, we will be doing that. And I'm thinking today should be the day where we decide sort of which direction we want to expand the park in. I'm between either this side or maybe over here. This side would be better, I feel like, for V3 of our lazy river, right? It'll be our third attempt at one of those. I think I've got a little bit better of an idea as to how we can make this work. All right, just a ghost notification about some paths there. That's to be expected. But on this opposite side here, I'm thinking this would be a good area to where we could start putting flat rides and maybe a couple of coasters and things like that. So I'm up in the air right now. I think I'll be like dead set on one of those two ideas a little while later on. But I think the first thing that I want to work on today is actually over here, because I didn't realize this until I was editing, but I said something along the lines about this sign of like, oh, it's just a little too big for this space. Shoot, man, I wish there was something we could do. There is. I keep forgetting about the scale tool, dude. It's so new. Anyways, let's see if we can't just like slide this down to like 90, maybe a little bit more. Let's go 80. 80%. Oh, see, that's so much better. And we've still got that same sound, dude. I love it. Okay, we'll just drag it down a little bit. Did I duplicate it by accident? I must have. There we go. Okay, now I'm happy with that. Hopefully it'll be quite a while before we have to mess around with our concession stand buildings again. So now that we have that taken care of, I really want to try to dial in our transport ride. And for the time being, it is going to kind of just end right here. But keep in mind, later when we have, you know, other zones created, this will just be like a continuing sort of a pass-through station. People will be able to queue up for it. People will be able to leave here. But the transport ride itself will continue throughout the rest of the park. So I think what we should do here is probably start to do sort of like what we did over on this side, where we'll just kind of move a couple of the columns out of the way, maybe add a bit more fencing and try to find a better location for our entrance and exit. While we're working on this, I just found out that we've spent nearly 60 hours. At the end of this episode, it should be right about 60 hours on just this one zone, which, since this is episode 10, on average, that's about 6 hours per episode, which is exactly what I shoot for. You know, some episodes are shorter, some episodes are longer, but I appreciate all you guys that are a bit more understanding about that than others. So we're going to select these two here and change our grid just a little bit. And slide that post out this way. Oh, dude, I duplicated it by accident. Whoops. And then we'll do the same thing with these. Just bump that out a bit. Oh, whoops. We kind of do need to keep that wall, though. That's just a little bit important. I don't know yet what I want to do for the facilities on the front. I'm kind of thinking we do like a bathroom right here, right? Because I don't want to put anything behind these windows. I actually kind of like the way that those look. So we'll do maybe changing room, bathroom, changing around this front side. Because if you think about it, once we start adding coasters and flat rides elsewhere, eventually people will come back to the water park. And when they do, we don't want them to walk all the way to the main entrance just to get changed, right? It would probably be a lot better to have something else over here for them. So I'm going to go ahead and just delete these few walls here. And we're going to have to make some more kind of custom door openings for these spaces. I'm trying to decide whether or not we need an additional post in the middle or not. We did that on the other one, like on the main entrance side. But on this one, we've got supports from the cable car. Not on that side just yet, but over here. See, we've got this support running down the middle of that wall. So I think I'm just gonna get rid of that window. And we could maybe recolor all these supports brown instead, so it doesn't stick out as badly. I'm also kind of tempted to recolor the cable cars themselves. Red is good, right? But I feel like we have sort of a yellow imbalance on this side, right? Since we only had these two flumes, we couldn't add our yellow slide to it. We probably could add a third slide underneath these other ones, but where would it go, right? There's not a lot of space for it. So I think that's what we'll do. We'll recolor the cable cars yellow. Oh yeah, dude. See, that is more like it. I love the yellow cable cars. I think that looks fantastic. And then having the supports be brown instead of silver or whatever color they were before, I think that's going to help them kind of blend in a little bit more, right? Especially once we get a bit more scenery spread throughout this area. They'll kind of look more or less like tree trunks than anything else. But I'm getting a little too distracted here. One thing at a time. Gotta just tackle one thing at a time.
Moments later.
What did I just say, dude? Tackle one thing at a time. But here I am looking through our staff members because I just had this thought. Like, wait, we don't have security guards anymore. And we don't. Unless that's going to be like a DLC or just a future addition to the game. Currently, they don't exist. And I'm only just now realizing that. But again, I'm getting distracted. We need to just keep working on this building. So we'll do 3 here, 3 in a row. Leave that space for a bathroom. And then these 3 over here. The supports for that should disappear. Or if they didn't disappear, they're not visible anymore now that we have the facilities place. So that works for me. I am tempted to add more body dryers. And come to think of it, we should probably just duplicate this other body dryer that we have and kind of slide it on over to our 2 inner tube flumes right over here. In case, you know, people are done with the flumes and they want to just dry off real quick, this will give them the ability to do that. Here I go again, dude. I got squirrel brain so bad. Did I not just say I need to focus on one thing at a time? And here we are doing something completely different. So it looks like the path is going to snap to that just fine. It did kind of do some weird stuff, but I think we can look past that. There we go. As long as we don't have any plants clipping through it, I'm good. Oh, something else. Squirrel brain, man. Real quick. Okay, good. They are actually still coming down the dual inner tube flume. There for a minute, at the end of the previous episode, I noticed that they were just sending down empty tubes, which made me a little bit worried, but it seems like everything's good. So back on to this deal. What I'm gonna work on next, is this another ghost notification? You okay, bud? Y'all good? He's good. Everything's great. I want to try to make a little archway just to sort of fill in the gaps over here. Make it look a little bit nicer. We're going to duplicate this and delete that wall. And now we can just Slide this guy on up. A little bit further, probably right about there. And then we need those doors. Let me see if we can't find those doors real quick. They're like, I'll call them animatronic doors. That's probably not the right technical term for them, but they do like open and close. You can kind of set them to be open all the time. You can set them to loop open and close. I'm just gonna leave them set to open. And now that we have that, we'll just move it on over here. The really difficult part is gonna be deleting that wall now. I think if I get on the other side, there we go. Okay, so the last thing that we need is just one more column down the center, and then I think I'll be happy with this. We can just kind of duplicate it over and over and over the rest of the way. So let's grab this and this one, duplicate it, change our grid so we can get it smack dab in the center there. And once again, we're gonna have to sneak on in here to duplicate that, or delete that wall. There we go. I'm happy with that. I feel like our main entrance one looks a little different though, so I gotta inspect that real quick, see what I did differently. Oh no, it's exactly the same. Okay, never mind. Something I would recommend is after you're done like duplicating these doors, just go around each of them and make sure that it's set to open. Because sometimes when you duplicate, it'll say open, but it actually like reverts back to its default setting, which is loop. So then you get a bunch of doors that are opening and closing left and right. So there we go. They should all open up. This one's gonna close one more time. And then these should also close one more time. Very weird, I know. That's just kind of the way that they work. Let me deselect that one. There we go. Dude, we've already got people using the bathroom too. Nice. Okay. Have yet to see anyone change over here, but like I said, that's probably gonna happen way, way later on down the line. And I wanna make sure that none of the tops of those bathrooms or changing rooms clip through our platform here. We're looking good, dude. We are looking really dang good. I don't love how you can just see down into this building though. So I think I'm gonna duplicate the roof and just drag it on down so it'll kind of act as our floor. There we go. That is quite a bit nicer looking. Nobody's gonna be walking up here anyways. It really is just a visual thing than anything else. But I think that looks good. Okay, next order of business then. We need to add some fencing just in between these two posts on both sides. And just to make sure that our new railing lines up perfectly how the old one did, I'm gonna duplicate these two. We're going to advanced move and duplicate this, but then back into our scenery, if I type half right here, we should be able to find this guy. And now that one is placed pretty much in the exact same location as the old railing. And then now we can just grab this guy, drag it on over this direction. And the only other thing we're gonna have to do is just kind of slide it into place. Delete that wall and just drag her on over until it's about in the middle of those two columns. There we go. And then now that we've created one, duplicating that over and over is gonna be a lot easier because all we have to do is that and delete the duplicated wall. Bring her on around to the opposite end and place two more like so. Delete that, and the deed is done. Now for these paths, I think we're gonna have to demolish them. That way we can have a little bit easier time sort of moving both the entrance and the exit. So if I remember right, I kind of lined the other one up with the edge of that post, and then we'll do the same thing with the exit. Sort of just line it up with the edge of this one. There we go. All right, with that taken care of, let's edit the building again. So we just need to move this post over to right around here, and then we'll duplicate that, slide another one just next to it. So now we can delete these two, and then let's grab this guy again. I'm gonna duplicate this wall, grab this, duplicate the both of them, and we'll try to slide her on in right yonder. Does that actually line up? I don't know if I did that right. Hang on. Let's put her in reverse, Terry. It did not seem to line up. Oh, I rotated it around the other way. There we go. So now we'll delete that and slide this on over till right about there. The deed is done again. I really want the entrance and the exit paths to look good. If we take a quick gander around here at our other station, not super happy with the way that these staircases and paths turned out. So I really want to try to dial it in on this side, and then maybe if time allows, you know, we can adjust it over there. But I think what I'm gonna do is bring just a slightly wider path around the backside, a bit like that, and then what I want to do is kind of bring these paths over top of this other path, a bit like a catwalk, sort of a little bit like a bridge, and then on this side of the main path we'll have a decent looking staircase, hopefully.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Okay, you know, it's not exactly what I had in mind, but maybe it just needs a bit of decoration, right? Just a little some. Come on, man. I was almost finished with the thing, and then my game crashed, which I hate to say it, that has been happening a lot more recently. So this is the most recent autosave, and rather than trying to make it look pretty, I'm just gonna make it so it works. That way we can test to see if our guests will even want to ride the thing, right? We might be going through all this effort only to find out that our guests don't care. Okay, this is gonna have to do for now. We'll make it look pretty some other time, but I think we should be able to get this thing open. So that's just the one station though, right? We're gonna have to open up station 13. Oh no, that's open as well. Our first guest? No, he turned around. All right, Ponytail, I get it. Okay, many guests are tired. Make sure that there are enough benches. Let's do that. We should probably do that. I would say it's about time. So we could go with this, like little driftwood planks. I don't think that looks terrible, but I kind of prefer the look of these a little bit more. I just witnessed another lady walk up to the queue and then turn right around, just like this guy did. So I wonder what our pricing is set to for these. Let's see, that's gotta be in here somewhere, right? Or is it just on this page for it? Are they just free? Are all transport rides now just free? I guess so. I don't see anything in here at all that would allow us to set a price to ride it. So it is what it is. You know, I'm not super concerned about making money off the thing. I really just wanted to give the guests an alternative way to, you know, travel to different zones of the park. So back to benches, I suppose. We've got a couple over here, and they are actually getting used, which is good to see. This hasn't been for nothing, but I'm gonna try to add a couple more to the opposite side over here. We've got benches on benches on benches now, so I don't want to see a single guest complain about not having a spot to take a load off. I mean, they are everywhere. I've just littered the park with these things. Apart from the areas that have like picnic tables, those could also kind of double as a bench if people needed a quick rest. What's this about? Power Generator 1 has an expired service badge. Is it just not being maintained or what? Do we need another mechanic? I mean, we've got stupid money now. I don't know why I just opened up coasters to get a new mechanic here, but I'm gonna go ahead and plop them down. And then let's make sure they're set up on a staff zone too. How about zone 9 for this dude? We'll apply that to his entire day. So he does get a break. It looks like right around 11 o'clock. How many? Hang on. We have 3 mechanics. So we have one that just does research. We have another that isn't applied to any staff zone. So Susan right here. We're going to put her on the main entrance. That'll be her whole zone. Oh, you know what? Something else. This bothered me so bad as I was editing a couple of the previous episodes, and I keep forgetting to change it. I misspelled entrance right here. and it's just really been bothering me. That's one word that I always have a difficult time spelling. It's not entrance, it's just entrance. So there we go. Now we've got that taken care of. I appreciate none of you guys calling me out on that. It's a bit embarrassing. We're gonna add just one more mechanic, probably over in this area. And then let's open back up our staff schedule here. See who all we got. So that's zone 9. We just need one on zone 8, which will be Janet right here. And then we'll be good. Hopefully we won't have to worry about this for a good while at least. All right, now that we've gotten all that taken care of, I want to make a quick detour back to our wave pool again, so that we can hopefully once and for all stop this whole thing from happening. And this too. We've got a guy over here just stuck in the floor. Dude, I don't even know that I can help you out. I can't click on you. Oh, there we go. Yeah, he is currently desperate because he's, you know, basically stuck in a wall. So I'm gonna put you out there, bud. And then, as we've learned now, the barriers don't actually function. They're strictly just decorative. So I'm gonna go ahead and confirm this selection, and we're just gonna straight up delete those suckers. And what we're gonna do instead, something a lot of you had suggested, a little bit like what we did with our triple slides over here, how we have those lazy river jets kind of pointing people back this direction. That way they don't get hit by the next person coming down the slide. We're going to try something similar with the wave pool, and I'm hoping that it doesn't disrupt the waves at all. So let's see if this works out for us. I've tried to manually move everyone out of the way there. So survey says, God, look how many people just jumped into the air. Uh-oh. Nope. It didn't really fix it, I don't think. Oh, well, they haven't quite got stuck in the wave machines themselves just yet. But it also doesn't really keep them away. Not like I had hoped. They might not even function like this because technically they're not alongside the wall of the pool. And I think they kind of need to be in order to work right. It's definitely a little better. I'll take it. I'll take it. This just blows my mind, dude. We've been at this for 2 hours already today, and it doesn't even feel like we've accomplished anything. So to fix that, we're gonna make a very dramatic change to this portion of the park. I was between working on either up here or down here today, but ultimately, I want another lazy river. Dude, I want another stab at a lazy river. This is gonna be V3, our third attempt at one of these things. And thanks to a lot of your guys' comments, it seems like we're pretty much all in agreement to not have a gradual slope sort of leading into the lazy river. It would probably be best to have it all just the same depth. Oh, and also wider. The last two have been a bit too narrow. So I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try my very best, and hopefully we don't end up with any more phallic looking shapes. Well, V3 kind of sucks. Still kind of sucks. I think where I messed up is I left like angle snap turned on, and then when you do that, you have to come through and try to round out all the hard edges. And then when that happens, your jets are just not even connected to the wall anymore. So we'd have to come through and manually sort of move all of those around, which I don't want to do. I think that's going to take way more time than it's worth. It is working though. I mean, you can see this dude's got his pool noodle. These dudes over here have a couple of floats. They're just peacefully floating on down. I had to just throw people, just chuck people in it though, because there's no way they're gonna walk out here on their own yet. Not until it's really, really worth doing. So I'm gonna back all of this up. We're gonna undo this whole thing and try again without angle snap. I don't know if these people realize this, but you're going the wrong way. Okay, they just really don't want to be here right now. So V4, not really that much better. Disabling angle snap, and also what was the other thing? Changing the connection type to angle didn't really seem to help either with these like jagged edges. So we would still have to come through and kind of round some stuff out and manually move a few of those jets. I'm thinking this lady might go all the way. She seems to really be enjoying herself. Oh, okay, spoke too soon. Are you struggling? You kind of look like you're struggling. It says leaving a pool. All right, lady, I'll help you out. Sorry about that. You were kind of my guinea pig. I really tried to make the shape as random and sort of organic as I possibly could. I really wanted it to resemble a river that kind of loops around on itself, but a river nonetheless. Wait, we've got actual people willingly jumping into the pool. Or lazy river, you know what I mean. That's crazy. That is bizarre. Okay, so we don't have any lifeguards out here. I've been told you probably want a couple of those. And it would probably be good to have more than just one entrance. That dude just did a dang front flip. My guy is crazy nice with it. But yeah, probably more than just one entrance. So I'm thinking we could add like a tiny little path kind of going into this area. And then we could also branch off from this path and have another smaller entrance maybe just over here. But I'm hoping that'll probably be good. What's this about now, man? Nothing. It's a ghost notification. And as you can probably tell, I decided to go with swimming depth. The only reason for that, I realize most lazy rivers are wading depth, but the only reason I went with swimming instead is so that people can't just stand there motionless. I want people to continue to kind of, float around the lazy river. So having it swimming depth seems to have sorted that issue. Cable car, what? Expired service badge? I swear, dude, I don't think our mechanics actually work. It's like they just roam around and look for work. Here's one right now. Let me help you out. Let me bring you up here. And he's just gonna... He's just gonna turn right the heck around. All right. Here, let me emergency call. Something I found out is if you do an emergency call, your mechanics will run. They'll actually run to wherever you called them to. This one doesn't appear to be doing that. Here we go. We've got someone who actually wants to work today. But that is something that's very different from the original Planet Coaster. The mechanics couldn't care less. They'd get there whenever they'd get there, right?
A few moments later.
It took forever for me to just move all these plants out of the way of our new path, but we have one just here. And then, oh, it's gonna make us get in the pool. If we head down the way, against the current, we've got another one just here, sort of connecting back up to that food court. Dude, I think this looks fantastic. I really, really do. And then, of course, around this side, this is the quote-unquote main entrance to the lazy river. This is kind of where most everyone's been jumping in. So what I want to do now is just kind of go around and start to round off some of those harder edges, especially this one here. That looks painful. If somebody like accidentally bumped into that, that would probably hurt a lot. And then in addition to that, I'll also add a couple of lifeguards just kind of around the perimeter every so often. We're going to have to manually adjust a couple of our lazy river jets as well. I don't think I want to do anything with the island bit here in the middle, apart from like adding some foliage. Maybe we could do a cave. We could do a cave, probably on this side, like start the rocks here and kind of have it branch over to the opposite end. Might not look too terrible. I don't know that we're going to have time to do that today, but we'll start here and we'll see where we end up. Okay, I think the universe is trying to give me a sign to just be done for the day. That's the third time now that this game has crashed on me just in this one recording. Usually it only happens once every few videos, so it's really bad today. But I took the time to add just a bit of greenery sort of around the whole perimeter. And then of course all the scenery sort of on that, we'll call it the island right there in the middle of everything. I think it turned out fantastic though. And this is truly only the beginning. All these people are trying to swim the wrong direction still. Someday they'll figure it out. This dude right here, He's got the right idea. I love it. I love it. So you might have seen there we have a lifeguard at that entrance. We've got a lifeguard here. And then we have one last lifeguard just on this quote-unquote main entrance for the lazy river. So we're sitting at 92% overall pool safety, which is pretty good. I do think we could probably use another somewhere in this area. But again, I would like to maybe make some sort of rock facade cave thing just over this portion of it here. But unfortunately, we're not going to have enough time for that today. But ladies and gents, we finally have, after, what, 4 or 5 attempts now, we finally have a functioning lazy river. And the guests are willingly jumping in. I don't have to just pick up random people out of the other pools and plop them in here anymore. They're just finding their way out here all on their own. So on that note, I do think that's probably where we're going to have to wind things down at for today. But once again, if you guys did enjoy, please leave a like, leave a comment, help support the dream by smashing that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Peace.